All right. First and foremost, the microchip. Many people believe that the mark of the beast is just the microchip only. I'm here to prove to you that this isn't so. The microchip is not only the mark of the beast, there are other things that are also the mark of the beast. And for people to beware of this, because everybody knows that the microchip is the mark of the beast, but there are other things that are the mark of the beast. And by them not knowing the other things, they will fool themselves or fall into a trick where they will suffer the same condemnation by those also who receive the microchip. I'm going to prove this to you. First and foremost, let's go to Revelations. All right. I'm going to show you that there are other things that are also the mark of the beast. Now, Revelations chapter 19, verse 20. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worship his image. And them that worship his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire, burning with brimstone. So the mark of the beast, those who receive the mark of the beast, right? And also those who worship his image. His image. Now, worshiping the image, his image, also is like receiving the microchip as well. All right. It's also the mark of the beast. You will suffer the same fate. So let's go to worshiping. All right. So here's an example of worshiping. Here is your Pope Francis, worshiping an idol, worshiping a statue, bowing down and kissing the statue, which is against the law. Now, here's another example of your Catholics today, right? Catholics who are worshiping a statue. Now, many Catholics will say this, well, we don't worship the statue. We just, pray in front of it. So, okay, if you don't worship the statue, which you are, you bow down to the statue. According to the law, bowing down in front of these statues or these images is against the law. Let's get it. Let's go to Exodus chapter 20, verse 4 to 5. And I'm going to show you exactly what it's talking about. Thou shalt not make Exodus chapter 20, verse 4. All right. It says this in verse 4. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. So it's against the law to make any image of anything. Period. Let's go to verse 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord, am a jealous God. So many Catholics will bow down to these images, right? They'll say, well, we don't serve them. We don't worship them. Yes, you do. By default, when you bow down to them in front of them, okay, what you're doing, you're serving these statues. You're serving these false idols. So you are breaking the law. And you are to only worship Jesus Christ and the Father. That is it. Because many Catholics will serve saints, bow down and pray to saints. This is against the law. This is the reason why it says in verse 5, thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord, thy God, am a jealous God. So he's jealous over anyone else who's being served. St. Peter, St. Jack, whatever you want to call these saints. All right, you're not supposed to serve them. So let's continue, right? So it is according to the law, you cannot worship any image, as we read in Exodus chapter 20, verse 4 to 5. Revelations says this, with which he deceived them that received the mark of the beast and them that worship his image. What was the old image? White Jesus was the old image over here. We all know that Jesus Christ is not white. Now, what the people, the Satanists are trying to do, they're trying to make us believe that, well, since people are kind of waking up, well, Christ could not be white. He must have been Middle Eastern. In the apocalypse of Elijah in Enoch, where it speaks about the Antichrist of having an appearance of a character of a Middle Eastern character. So the Satanists are moving this new image that we see here of this Middle Eastern character of being the new Christ. Even though the Bible described Christ as being a black man, whatever image it is, whether it be black, white, whatever, we can't bow down to it nor serve it because it is against the law. We cannot create any image, even though the image of the Bible described Christ as being a black man. All right. So let's continue on to show you that the microchip is not the only mark of the beast. There are other mark of the beast that's out there. All right. Revelation chapter 13, verse 17, and that no man shall buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Now, let me continue to Revelation chapter 14, verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive the mark in his forehead or in his hand, we all know that you will suffer the eternal condemnation. Now, why is this important? Well, when we go to Leviticus chapter 19, verse 28, this is what it says. Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. See? Nor print any marks upon you, for I am the Lord. So it is against the law to what? To print any marks upon you. For example, let's go to this image over here. All right. So tattoos are against the law. Here it is. You see a guy over here who tattooed the word Baphomet on his knuckles. That is also the mark of the beast, right? Because when we go back, it says this in Revelation chapter 13, verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that have the mark or the name of the beast, right? Or the number of his name. Here is a guy who will have the mark, the name of the Baphomet. I mean, come on. The name of the Baphomet. Now, the name could be anything. When the Antichrist come in the scene, it could be whatever name he decides to name himself or whatever name they decide to put. It doesn't matter. Because according to Leviticus chapter 19, verse 28, you cannot put any mark of anything upon your flesh. So it is against the law. Whatever the name that they decide to put out there. Even if the name was the name of Christ, you can't do that because it's against the law. See, Baphomet. Here it is a guy who tattooed the word Baphomet on his hands. Mark of the beast. Right? So those who worship the image of the beast and also put the name of the beast or the number of his name and put it upon their flesh, these people are condemned to eternal hell. Now, let's continue on. Revelation chapter 14, verse 9, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand. Now, take a look at this. This is your Pope worshiping an idol. Pope Francis, I think that's his name, bowing down to a statue, when in Exodus chapter 20, verse 4-5, it says, "Thou shalt not bow down, and you shall not serve them." So these are two orders. And look what your Pope is doing. This guy who's a warlock, who's Satan's number one top man, who represents Satan himself, this is what he's doing and teaching the world to do. All right. This is against the law. And you should not be following man. You should follow the word of God. That's what you should be only following. So let's go back to Revelation to show you that the mark of the beast is not just the microchip. It's those who worship the image and those who receive the mark, whether it be the microchip or the tattoo. Now, this is the important thing. Why is this important? I'm going to tell you why. Let's continue on. Revelation chapter 16, verse 2. "And the first went and poured out his veil upon the earth. And there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the man which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worship his image." So they might come to you and say, well, you don't have to take the microchip, which is also the mark of the beast, but you can bow down and worship the image of the beast, the image of the beast, the Antichrist. Right? Boom! The moment you worship the image of the beast, guess what? It's like you received the microchip. So you're condemned for life. Okay, so you might be a smarter person, wiser than that. Well, I'm not going to worship the image of the beast, and I'm not going to take the microchip, but, I'll let the name of the mark of the beast be written in my hands or in my forehead, or the number of his name, right? I'll let that be written. So you rejected worshiping the image of the false idol, or the false, the Antichrist, whatever it is, be a man, whatever. And you rejected the microchip, but you took on the tattoo. According to Leviticus chapter 19, verse 28, "Nor ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you, for I am the Lord thy God." So you took that, guess what? You're condemned to hell. So many people are so focused on this microchip without understanding that you cannot worship the image. Many people are going to fall for this trick, worshiping the image of the Antichrist, or take upon his name, or whatever name that they put on. It doesn't matter. You can't do it. Even if they say put in your name on your own knuckles, or on your tattoo your own name, you can't do it. It is against the law, because you're not supposed to print anything. Whatever image, even if they put the image that is not the same image as the Antichrist, you can't worship or bow down to it, because according to Exodus chapter 20, verse 4-5, when you read verse 4, "Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heavens, earth, wherever." It is against the law. Let me continue, showing you that the mark of the beast is just not the microchip, but it's also the image and the name, the tattoo too. Revelation chapter 16, verse 2. "And first went pour out the veil upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the man which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worship his image." Revelation chapter 15, verse 2. "And I saw it where a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name." Wait a minute. When I read this, I'm reading more than one thing. It says over his image and over his mark and over the number of his name. That's more than two things. So the microchip is not the only thing out there that you guys should be aware when this microchip comes out, which it is already out. We heard about Sweden taking the microchip, the mark of the beast, right? So these are those who had victory, those who also have understanding that the microchip is just not only the thing that's out there, because many people are going to be tricked. Okay, you don't take the microchip, just bow down to the false image. You don't take the false image, just take a tattoo. That's it. Boom. That's what it got you. All right. That's it. Let me continue. It says, and over his mark and over the number of his name, stand on the glass, on the sea of glass, having the harps of God. So you see, let me continue to Revelation chapter 20, verse 4. And I saw the thrones and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus and for the word of God, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither have received the mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they live and reign with Christ for 1,000 years. So you see, guys, this is the deeper understanding of not worshiping these false image. All right. When the time comes, neither putting any tattoo upon it, any name, or marking anything upon your flesh. Those of you guys who have tattoos, remove it. All right. Those of you guys who understand that the microchip is the mark of the beast, listen, it's not just that. It's also those who worship and bow down to the images. So at that time, when the Antichrist is on the scene, his image is going to be put out there, and they're going to ask you to bow down and worship it. This is how you're going to answer them. Let's go to Matthew's chapter 4. All right. How are you going to answer them? Remember, take death instead. Matthew chapter 4. Then Jesus was led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungered. And when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the Son of God, command these stones be made bread. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. What does it mean? It is written. That means according to the law, it is written. According to the law. I can't do that. Sorry, sir. So then the devil taketh him off into the holy city, and setteth him up on the pinnacle of the temple, and said unto him, if thou be the Son of God, cast thyself down, for it is written, he shall give his angels charge concerning thee. In their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. So you see how clever this filthy, disgusting devil is? So he even said to Christ, look, it is written. It is written in your law, right? And then Christ answered and said unto him, you see, this is why knowledge is extremely important. Because many of you guys, when this mark of the beast comes, which is already there, you're going to be tricked. They're going to tell you to take this tattoo upon you. You don't have to take the microchip, or they're going to tell you to just bow down and worship this image. So the devil tried to trick him by using the law against him. And this is what Jesus said. Jesus said unto him, it is written again, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. You see how Jesus Christ answered him? He said, no. It is written in the law, you shall not tempt the Lord thy God. All right. So now let's move on to the verse 8. Again, the devil taking him up into an exceeding high mountain, and sheweth him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them, and saith unto him, all these things I will give you, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. You see this again? You see this again? He says, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Remember, according to Exodus chapter 20, verse 45, it is against the law to worship anything, anyone, any man, any object, whatever it is against the law to bow down and to worship it. This is what Jesus Christ said then. Verse 10, then Jesus said unto him, get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt not worship thy Lord. Thou shalt worship thy Lord, excuse me. Thou shalt worship thy Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. Then the devil leaveth him, and behold, the angels came and ministered unto him. So folks, the mark of the beast is not only the microchip, it's also those who are worshiping these false idols. For you Catholics out there, those who are putting tattoos, Baphomet, at that time when the Antichrist is on the scene, they're going to require you and say, put on a tattoo or bow down or worship this false image. Answer the same way Christ answered Satan. All right. And take death before you take any of these things. Anyhow, this is my video. I'm out.